Hello everybody, I'm Jane and today's video is about excuses. Yes, we're going to look at the word excuse as a noun. So if you are making an excuse, it is when you tell me why something is not your fault. So you are giving me an explanation. You are telling me why something is not your fault. So you are using an excuse. When we use an excuse, we think about that word because. So, not my fault because. This is the thought process for the word excuse. What is your excuse? And in your head, you are thinking, it's not my fault because. Now, if you say to me, it's not my fault because, then I might not be very happy, because part of giving an excuse is helping me understand the reason something has happened. So, if we look at that word reason, you are giving me a reason, you are telling me some ideas, then you're really looking at trying to get me to accept the mistake and give me an explanation so that I think you are not to blame. So something has happened, it's not your fault. You're thinking about, how can I give an excuse? Well, we really like you to use the words, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So, if you are working in class with me and you're late and you knock on the door and say, I'm sorry I'm late, that makes me feel a bit happier that you have tried to think about why you didn't get to class on time. I didn't get to class on time because. So, I'm sorry. It's a really good phrase to learn. And then you can say, I'm sorry I'm late. I'm sorry I'm late. Yes, I know. You need to be there on time. So the reason you are giving an excuse is because you should be there on time. So when your class or your meeting with your friend starts, or your meeting at work starts, or even when work starts, if you are late, that's not good. That's quite bad. So you have to make the person you're talking to feel that it's not your fault. So that's when we use those words, I'm sorry. So I'm sorry I'm late if you're ever late to my class, but I know that you won't be because you'll try very hard to be on time. So what does be on time mean? So be on time. This phrase means be ready. Be ready for your class to start. Be ready for your meeting with your friend to start. Be ready for that coffee. That sounds nice. And get to your room on time. On time. We use that phrase a lot. On time. the time when you are supposed to be there. So we've learned that phrase, I'm sorry I'm late. And now we need to think about what's the reason why I'm late. Because if I tell somebody I'm sorry I'm late, I need to be able to help them think it's not my fault. So, as well as saying you're sorry, I want you to think about helping the other person believe that you couldn't do anything about that, because sometimes in our life we can't change what happens and we don't always get there on time. So we need to say, I'm sorry, I'm late. And we were thinking about some reasons in class about why might you be late. And some of the reasons that people give are the bus was late. The bus was late. That sometimes happens. And if you're coming in a car, the car broke down. Now this phrase, broke down, explains that the car stopped working for some reason, but you don't want to say quite a lot of sentences about what happened to the car, so you can simply say the car broke down. Please don't say the car broke, because in the English language we don't say the car broke, we say the pencil broke, the chair broke. But when we're talking about a vehicle, we use the phrase broke down. So you could say, I'm sorry I'm late, my car broke down. And if it's not my car, I wasn't driving, I could say, the car broke down. I'm sorry I'm late, the car broke down. And you might be in a situation where there's a lot of traffic, a long queue, and we sometimes use the word traffic jam when we're talking about a long queue, a lot of cars on the road and we can't get past, there's a traffic jam. So you might say, I'm sorry I'm late, there was a traffic jam. But if you don't use that phrase, then you could say, there was a lot of traffic, because that means the same as traffic jam. I'm sorry I'm late, there was a lot of traffic. So what about if something happened? I'm sorry I'm late, there was an accident. Now, depending on who you're giving that information to, you don't really need to say any more than that, because the person will ask you, what happened? So you can say, I'm sorry, I'm late, there was an accident. And you might also say, I forgot the time. But if you use this one, then you are taking responsibility. You are saying that it's really your fault. You should have made sure that that time was in your diary or you got it right. But do you know, sometimes I write the time in my diary and I also put it into my phone. And I can still forget the time. So this might be something I say if I'm meeting somebody. I'm sorry I'm late. I forgot the time. I was concentrating so hard that I really just forgot. So I'm going to leave you with the start of some questions to think about when we ask people for their excuses. So I'm going to give you just the question sentence starters. So your first one, why are you when you're directly asking somebody about something they haven't done? Why are you late? Why did you? When you're talking to something, I beg your pardon, when you're talking to somebody, when you're talking to somebody about what somebody has done, you say, why did you? And finally, if you want somebody to do something and they don't do it, you might ask them, why didn't you? Well, make sure that you practice with those question starters and think about what is an excuse. This is when you are giving the explanation about why you haven't done something that you should do. And sometimes when the person accepts that explanation, it becomes a reason. Oh, I understand your excuse. I understand the reason because I accept you've made a mistake and your excuse, your explanation, I've accepted that and you're not to blame. And then everybody carries on, because we do realize in life that not everything is perfect, but it's very important, if you're expected to do something, make sure that you know when to say sorry. So that's all for today. See you next time. Bye now.